with a producer. And so they really take the time to learn your business and learn your personality and style. And so we wrote it with them, but then it was up to us to practice it and present it.
Get it down, yeah. Okay. So, I probably won't divulge anything about the pitching, because we don't want to get in trouble here at Sucio Talk. But, what was it like? Well, you've told me this story, so I know it, but tell the people what it was like as you're pitching and realizing that you're winning. You know, like, because you had guys that let me know that Mark Cuban was in the room, and then he left, and then he came back.
You want to take the start of that?
Well, I mean, it's not, when you do the pitch, you are not interrupted. That's kind of the way we can start. Like, the pitch is the one period of time that you have that's yours, right? Because then after that, it's like the floodgates open.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's no one helping you out. You know what I mean? Like, and, you know, I just got to say, if there's anything that left an impression on me, it was just, you know, imagine you having the most, like, pent-up energy ever, right? You're about to go in there and be what you know to be, like your ego is on a chopping block in a way that probably happens very little, like, in your life.
Yeah.
Like, literally, you're there to get barbecued by people and have millions and millions of people watch. You know what I mean? Like, and potentially you're going to be that meme, you know what I mean? Or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But legitimately, it's like you go in there and then you do that pitch. And then the thing is like, and I can say for me, it was like between the lights and the audio, like the way it sounded in there, it was like such a sensory overload. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't think anything can prepare you for that part of it. You know what I mean? Unless you're like used to that sort of a thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, you go on there, you do the pitch, you go through it, and then legitimately after that, it's just like you are ready for whatever happens, and the only thing that's prepared you is just like, you know, we talked about doing the pitch, but we also knew every single number forward and backwards in the entire business. You know what I mean? Like anything anyone was going to ask us, we knew it, you know? And that was another big part of like being shark ready and being prepared for it, was like knowing those numbers, knowing the pitch. Anytime anyone was going to ask you a question, you know what I mean? Like knowing what Jay was going to answer, knowing what I was going to answer, you know, and like having those answers. But the one thing that I will say that both of us said before we went in is we're like, we are not going out without a fight. Like, we refuse to be those guys. You know what I mean? Like, we will go down swinging super hard. And that was kind of a big like mental way to prepare to go into a situation like that, you know?
Damn.
So, you know, in terms of like, what did it feel like when we were winning? Honestly, you don't know.
You don't even know.
Because you're in there.
You're just running the race.
You're in there and you're answering all these questions, right? And you're trying to steer the conversation, and it's a lot like it felt like when you're working at like a high-paced restaurant and you're learning how to talk to the chef.
Yeah.
And it's like he's asking you questions, and you just have to give super direct answers. But then within your answers, you also have to convince them that you're in control of your station.
Exactly.
Right? Even if you're pushing yourself to the limit, you got to give a direct answer, get his confidence.
Yeah.
And so they're asking all these questions, and they're asking more questions than one person can answer. And so then you have to like be like, we're going to answer this question, and then we'll take the next one. And so before we went in, Sarah kept telling us, like, whatever you do, answer Lori's questions first. And so they would all ask these questions, would answer Lori's questions first, and then go to the next.
Yep.
Answer Lori's questions first, go to the next. And so she went out, but she was very nice.
Dude, she was our biggest fan, man. She was awesome.
And so none of the sharks really turned on us.
Yeah.
It was intense, and there were some negotiations, but no one was like, this is stupid, or you're stupid, or that's not going to work. Right?
Yeah.
And I think that came from us really like like controlling the room, if you will.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, your analogy there, it was exactly like that. You know what I mean? When you're working a section, no one has your back, right? The chef is directing questions to you, and you like have to answer them confidently,
without fumbling.
Exactly, even though you kind of don't know. You know what I mean? But yeah, definitely. And honestly, you know, the way it happened, it just happened, you know, super quick. It happened quick. It felt like it happened quick, but honestly, it took like a long time. Like when we got out, they were all like, "Yo, you guys were in there for a very long time."
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So like Lori went out.
Yeah.
Damon went out.
Yeah.
Mark went out. Our goal was to get a deal with Mark.
Yeah, exactly. That was always the goal.
And then we hear him go out, and we're like, oh man.
Yeah.
And then
And just
Mr. Wonderful's.
And just to put it in perspective too, we're trying to pitch a business model that we are literally in the middle of a pivot of, right?
In a pandemic.
So, in a pandemic.
So they were like, explain, why am I eating this popcorn?
Exactly.
And they're like, you guys are all over the place.
Yeah. Because it's like we have fresh truffles and we have truffle products. And hey, we do cooking classes on Zoom. They're like, what the hell do you guys do? Yeah. You know what I mean? We're like, well, the thing is dope. We got everyone shaving the white truffle. You know what I mean? Like, we got the crepe Suzette and the tortellinis and like, you know what I mean? And the truffles and this and that. And like, you know, it was just, it was hard for us to put one foot in front of another and walk that tightrope of explaining our business model, right? Like, it's not like we got to go on there and be like, oh, we're a different type of juice cup. You know what I mean? Or whatever it is. Yeah. It's like, yo, we have a fresh truffle business and then a truffle products business. And then when COVID hit, we pivoted and we did live cooking classes with ingredient kits and Zoom calls and this and that, you know? And like, that was the hardest part about it, is like being able to explain our business model.
Yeah.
And so it would have been nice just to go out there and not even talk about the product.
Exactly.
Yeah. But then it's hard to tell how we got to where we were, you know?
Because you sent both videos. The truffles and the...
And also, too, when we applied, there was zero cooking class business.
Yeah.
It didn't exist.
Yeah, because there was no COVID.
When we were there was no business, and then a global pandemic happened, and we had to change, and now we're standing in front of them, and we're like, yo, we got this totally different business.
Yeah.
It's literally completely different.
Heard.
Yeah.
So does Mark Cuban himself tell you that you have a deal with Mark Cuban?
So basically, Mark is out, and you'll see this on the episode. Mark's out, Lori's out, Damon's out, and Robert's like, all right, guys, you guys have a legitimate business here.
Yeah.
He's like, you have a legitimate business here, you need an operator. You need someone that can help you take to this next level. He's like, I'm an operator, I'll make a deal for you. He said he would do the $500,000 for 20%. And honestly, our goal was to not go above 10%, right? And we even told Mitch that we'd walk away from 10%. And what we were kind of factoring into it is, it's like, if you do it right, how much revenue is going to come in that first month the episode airs, and factor that into the valuation of it. And then Mr. Wonderful makes an offer, right? And then Lori just handed us whatever you want to call it, like the greatest gift on a satin pillow, and she's like, would you do that deal with any of the other sharks here that that Robert was offering? And we're like, or no, cancel, let me back up. Basically, Robert made this offer, and we're like, I don't even know why I said it, but I was like, would you do a deal with Mark? With no intention of them getting to do a deal. We just wanted to get Mark back in.
Right.
And then Mark's like, I'll come back in.
Right. Because legitimately he asked the question, right? Because before, he's thinking that we have a business model with a ton of inventory, right? And then he legitimately looks at us and he's like, well, what's your accounts payable? And we're like, dude, our accounts payable is only like $60K. Which is not that much, right?
And we had, at this point, we had like $400,000 on the books coming to us.
Coming in. And like that's when he legitimately looked at us and he was like, you should have said that. You know what I mean? Like, and so, that was kind of another part of the factor. It's like, Robert's over there being like, hey, I get what you guys are like. You guys are like the Peloton of cooking. And that's when we knew that we kind of had control of the room back when he said those words.
Because he understood what
what the vision was.
Exactly.
And then once Mark heard that, he was like, oh.
He was like, oh, wow. And so then Lori was like, we're negotiating between the two of them. And there's a point where we like threw out the wrong numbers at some point. And so I hope they don't put that in there. But if they do, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
It's all good, man.
And then Lori's like, would you do a deal with either one of them? And we're like, yeah, we would. And then we look at Mark, and Mark's like, I'll do the deal. And we're like, Robert, with all due respect, we came here to get a deal with Mark. And then we're like, Mark, would you do any more money? And he's like, I'll do $501,000. So
$1,000 over what you were asking for.
Correct.
Over what we were asking.
Exactly.
That's a true billionaire. Billionaire right there. Fucking keep their money. Wow. So you obviously said yes.
And so we said yes.
Yeah.
We're like,
we talked about it. We said yes. High-fived about it. You know what I mean? We were just like...
Are the sharks like happy for you? Or,
yeah.
Or are they just like, next, get in here. Okay. Sit in on this.
No, they're... Honestly, if they like you, they're super cool.
Yeah.
And so after we made this deal with Mark, I was like, that's cool. Me, Mark, and Tyler have another.
Yeah, I hope they put that in there.
I hope, and we're like, what would you pay for these truffles? $10,000 right now on the spot. You go home with them, and they all started laughing. And then, honestly, me and Tyler were like, yo, guys, thank you so much for letting us be here.
Yep,
this was awesome.
Yeah, but I tried to sell the suitcase of truffles on the way out.
Yeah. And then we walked outside, and honestly, at this point, me and Tyler, they kept wanting to do like post-show interviews and things like that.
Yeah.
Me and Tyler just wanted to talk to each other and be like, did we fuck up? Did we do okay?
Well, that was the thing, is we're like, do that, but
like, is that too much equity?
At the end of the day,
I saw a snapshot you guys
it.
posted on Instagram, and my man Ian was in the picture.
Mm.
So where did he come in all of this? Was he in quarantine? Ian, did you quarantine for that show? Or did you fly down and check it out? Was that him on the couch?
Yeah, I was here.
Is that the wrong guy? What is it? Who's the third guy in that picture?
It's
like a picture of you three wearing suits.
Oh, that was... basically that was the celebration party.
Okay, got you. So right after you guys got out, so you flew down there and met him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We flew everyone
You're
out.
not going to miss a party in Vegas.
Mitch actually sent his jet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. We put the entire Truffle Shuffle team on a chartered jet
Yeah.
to Las Vegas. Dude.
And you guys partied hard?
We rented a party bus.
We literally rented a party bus to drive us around to
in Vegas.
fucking party.
Yeah. It comes with like a DJ and a bar and
Word up.
It was awesome.
Yeah, dude.
$400.
Yeah, we had the Kingpin there. Like, dude, we had everyone there.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that was super dope.
Cool, man.
Brett was freestyling.
Yeah.
We had little Brett.
That's awesome. So, Ian, how was the party?
It was
How was the bus?
It was the best party I think Truffle Shuffle's thrown in a very long time. It was literally just all of our loved ones all together, hanging out all night long, eating a bunch of mushrooms.
Sucio talk, baby. I love mushrooms. So that by the way is a future episode right there. Ian Rosentraut, is that how you say?
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Rosentraut.
Yeah.
How do you say it? Rosentraut.
Yeah.
CH is silent.
Pretty silent.
Okay, heard that.
Yeah, you gotta get Ian on Sucio Talk.
He is going to be on Sucio Talk. I just did one with Sarah Rundle. She'll be featured here in the next few weeks. this episode is dropping this Friday, or well tonight. We'll